Elevated Talk. Now tuned.
What is good? What is good? Peace and blessings, peace and healing, peace and journey, peace and chaos. What is good? What is good? So I ain't even gonna be up here too long. Hope y'all are doing well. Make sure that if you are here, drop a like, drop a comment, get this lore out into the algorithm. All right. I really just want this live. Really just a video live wherever you're seeing this, right? I want it to be a build off of what we talked about last week's live, right? And so in last week's live, we talked about, just all the crazy shit that was going on around the world. Drones in New Jersey, booms being heard, right? Celebrities on the hot seat, all of these things. There's this YouTube channel called The Talk, and there was a podcast between Elon Musk and Kanye West, and there's just a whole bunch of things, and it really happened kind of fast, right? And so they just came out here. This happened, and for me, I feel like, it's a smoke screen, right? It's a smoke screen. To what? We kind of touched up on it in last week's live, just talking about, what's really going on behind the scenes, what's, really at play. They came out and said aliens are real. They're in the water, right? And so I think it's important to recognize that there's always something deeper at play. And so the answers, and I started with this because what is happening is we have to realize that the answers are not going to be found in the media. And we've been known this. So just for anybody watching this right now, if you clicked on this video, you haven't dove into the lore of Elevated Talk, I highly suggest diving into the lore of Elevated Talk, because what we talked about last week was what was really going on, but now what we didn't touch up on was how to protect yourself during these times, because as we know, we're going through a major shift, major shift. And to just exit out of just calling it a shift, it's a revolution. What we're seeing right now is the old falling, the old system, the old paradigm, the old way of living, right? How I view it is like, and I broke this down on my TikTok. When you go through your healing, you begin to tap into new realms. You begin to tap into deeper parts and existence of self. What is going on right now is Earth, it's healing itself. So what's happening is those deeper parts of Earth are beginning to awaken, right? And those deeper parts may, be different species and things like that. But on top of this, what's happening is, like we know what happens when we heal, is the old must rise to our awareness, which is what I feel we are seeing right now, is the old rising to our awareness, the old paradigms, the old systems and things like that. They're rising to our awareness so that we can consciously begin to see them and let them go. And so that's on a macro level. Like everything I talked about right now, it's on a macro level, right? And so we see these things happening on a macro level, right? We see cryptocurrency becoming more and more popular and adopted, which there's no need to FOMO. I talked about a little investing project, so definitely go check out last week's live at the end. There's no need to FOMO into that, but it's just recognizing where are companies investing their money in, right? And more and more you see these big companies investing their money into crypto. So it's signs like that, and it's really taking that spiritual approach and leaving from that physical centered mindset, right? And trust me, I'm setting us up for the lore of how to protect ourselves, but I just want to give this information for anybody who may not have the attention span to go back and watch the other live, is really understand that all levels of existence are going through a shift, spiritual, physically. Like, it's like you're seeing all the signs happening, right? Cryptocurrency is becoming that new thing financially. It's that new disruptor in the spiritual system. AI is on the rise, which why it's important, why I wanted to dive into this topic is because I seen this video of Adidas creating its first fully AI commercial, and it had real people in it, not real people, but obviously artificial people that look like real people and things like that. And why I bring this up, and you'll hear me talk about this to the day I transition from this realm. Technology is a double-edged sword. And these people who have been holding on to this old paradigm, these people who have been holding on to this capitalistic system that has gotten us, out of alignment with our soul and things like that, and which is why you should definitely check out the lore, like, subscribe on Elevated Talk, because it's all about inner healing and things like that, what is necessary during this time, right? The people who are holding on to this old paradigm, they have access to these AI technologies, probably more powerful than the public, right? Because the truth is, before AI was released to the public, it was in the army. And that's how it always goes. Any technology that is released to the public, the army had it maybe 5 years before it's released to the public. Because they want to make sure what's all the different ways we can weaponize this. What's all the different ways we could, destroy our enemies with this. And then once they find a way to publicize it, right, then they release it. So it's understanding that right now, healing, protection, and discernment is our greatest things right now. Healing, protection, and discernment is our greatest things right now. And we have to be able to see through this smoke screen that we're seeing right now. And there's going to be a lot of fear. It's going to be a lot of chaos, but that's because people are going to let the media write narratives for them. And this is important, that we don't let media write narratives, or we don't let the media be our source of information, but we let that inward communication with our higher selves, with our ancestors, be the communication. All right, that's if you're looking for answers, that's where you're gonna get the answers. All right, so how do we protect ourselves during this time, right? Number one is healing. And I don't say that to say that, like, literally number one is healing. And why? Because when we start to heal, we let go of the old paradigms, which is also, it's almost like, think of like an umbilical cord, but the umbilical cord goes to this old system. When we start to heal, that is literally us cutting the umbilical cord. So as we start to heal, we are bringing new high vibrational energy into our auric field, into our electromagnetic field, which is helping us strengthen our mind, strengthen our connection with our spirit, but it's also strengthening our auric field. It's strengthening our electromagnetic wave, which, think of our electromagnetic wave almost like a Captain American shield against all the negative and low vibrational stuff. So if we can strengthen that through healing, also letting go of that attachment to this physical reality, right? Attachment to those old paradigms. What is going on is we are freeing up space within our being to operate on that higher vibratory state. And so a lot of people talk about this shift and, getting to the consciousness aspect. You got the 3D to 5D consciousness and things like that. And that's the thing. It's not about race, color, or anything like that, but it's about the consciousness that you're operating on. So to protect yourself from these attacks, mental attacks, from, low vibrations and things like that, you want to operate on such a high vibration that it's almost like you're playing to a kid on the ground trying to throw a baseball at the plane, where you're operating on such a high vibration. None of these low vibrational attacks, none of these smoke screens, none of these influences from the external have an effect on you. But it starts with healing, because you have to be willing to get to know your own mind, right? To get to know your own soul, so that light within you can begin to activate. And so when that light within you begins to activate, right, now it shines on your original eye, so that you can see clearly through all the smoke screens, right? There's so many different perspectives that we could look at what's going on. There's so many different perspectives. Like, I heard the drones are up in the sky to scan the power grid, and they might shut the power grid down. The drones are really, alien scavenger ships that are looking for certain people to snatch them up and things like that. There's so many different perspectives that one can get lost into. And if you really lay it out on the table, right? Think about when all of these things started to drop. Like all of these things I mentioned, they started to drop at the same time. So we just have to be willing to broaden our scope during these times and see the spiritual perspective, that higher perspective, so that we don't get lost in the micro media or fearful games that are being played, but to stay focused on our journey, to do the healing, to make sure that we are tapping in with our ancestors, which gets me into way number 2 to protect yourself, which is communicate with your ancestors. As I stated, these informations, the information that's going to be played, the things that are going to come out, just automatically know that they're going to have a double reasoning behind it. So if you're really looking to get to know what's going on, which going to the conscious understanding of it, your ancestors, your spiritual team, your higher self, whoever's on it for you, they know what you can handle. They know what you're ready to hear. So if you're looking for information, communicate with your ancestors, but also how they can protect you during this time, not only with guidance, but with wisdom, with practices that can help you begin to strengthen your aura, begin to strengthen your energetic field, right? Because like that ass, bro, we're just in the beginning of this. And I'm not claiming to be no prophetic visionary, but what I can tell you is we're just in the beginning of this. And we have to be willing to see clearly. And that comes with one, protecting our energy, because our energy, our auric field, our essence, our mind is what's going to help us create. So if it's constantly being distracted by this, or one thing I wanted to talk about was agents, right? Like, in the Matrix, you got Agent Smith, and he just out there, doing the bidding of the simulation, trying to disrupt the revolution that Neo was trying to bring. And this goes to what I'm talking about, like, and I dropped a post about WALL-E and the movie WALL-E, like, how WALL-E, in the movie WALL-E, Earth was destroyed by just over waste and things like that. So then they went up to a ship, and just stay with me, I'm gonna bring this full circle. And they went up to a ship, and then when you looked at the people on the ship, they was fully dependent on technology. They didn't have to move at all. That's why they had gotten overweight, right? They had completely forgot about Earth, and they were just living on the ship off artificial things that the ship was creating, artificial food, all of that things and stuff like that. And so you have beings who have come down here to see that be the reality that is supposed to be created. These are your agents, right? Some people may not know, some people may know. And it's important that you use your discernment, you communicate with your ancestors as to where you want to invest your energy right now. And that means in people, that means in the things, jobs, whatever it is right now. Our protection of our energy, our discernment, and healing should be of most importance, especially during this winter energy. So if you're seeing something that is not aiding in that, communicate with your ancestors and talk to them and be like, we got to dip out. All right, we got to dip out. We got to dip out. And it's understanding, and shout out to the beautiful soul who commented on day, I think it was day 34. I don't know how to pronounce your name, Devon. I think it starts with a KY. You know what I'm talking about. And she just went through and discussed the breakthrough that she had, and talked about how a rejection is not necessarily a L, but it's a redirection. So don't be afraid to leave a situation, because on the physical aspect it may look like a L, or you may not be able to do this or do that if you leave this. We have to prioritize the protection of our spiritual essence, the protection of our energy right now. So if something is not aiding in that, be willing to have that knowing within your spiritual power that you can step away from that, and you will be guided to something that will aid in your spiritual ascension, right? And so this goes into the communication with your ancestors is very important right now, because as these realms start to open up around Earth, people are going to go into fear when they start seeing things they only seen in movies. People are going to go into fear when you know, the news or the government really don't have no answers, and they're like, I mean, they don't have answers with the New Jersey thing, but I feel like that's low key a play though. Like they saying they don't know, but it's like that. It's like that. It's like when people come to like a famous person, and they're like, you have to say this, this, and this, right? And so then the famous person gets up there and says, I can neither deny nor confirm those allegations. I can neither, and I think that's what's going on. But like I said, the people who are tapped in, they know, or they have theories, or they have knowings, or you know, one of their ancestors from the cosmos came and visited him and said, you know, hey, look, this is what's going on. You're good here. Keep doing what you're doing. Blase, blase. So number one is healing. Do your healing. Release those traumas. Release those karmic cycles. That's really it's part in what we came here to do is release those karmic cycles. Release those we'll keep it at karmic cycles right now. Release those karmic cycles. Heal the generations, right? Because when you heal, you're literally healing generations, bro. You're healing a ancestor who might be, you know, tethered to this realm because they haven't gone through something. So you're now embodied in this physical so that you can help that ancestor walk through. But it starts with that connection. And so if you're seeing this, be sure to like, subscribe, comment, all of that stuff. Road to 100 trillion subscribers. All right, y'all seen it from the OG for real. I have dropped a video on both how the subconscious connects with the inner child, but also how to connect with your ancestors, so that you can begin to heal, right? Right. So number one, heal, right? Broaden your scope, and strengthen, not in strength. I don't know if that's a word. Strengthen your auric field, right? Activate your third eye, right? Which actually gets me to this right here. All right. If you are in the beginning of your journey, I highly suggest going to your chakras. Your chakras, okay? I don't know, your chakras. Why? Because the chakras act as the energetic. The chakras act as the energy within your body, right? That is attuned to different realms of existence. What I mean by that is, if you look at a habit, okay, why do I have this relationship with money? Why do I have this relationship with women? Why do I have this relationship with desires? These things stem from your chakras. Each will is its own dimension that is related to not only this lifetime, but the lifetime, before that. And so it is connected to your soul in the sense that it is carrying the information of your different lifetimes. And to keep it simple, when we go through our chakras, what is happening is we are awakening this energy, no longer allowing our consciousness to be stuck at those lower vibratory states, to no longer let our desires be only rooted in physical, but to desire change, to desire growth. And so as we transcend, opening up that Kundalini energy, what is happening is we are renewing this relationship with self and selves, past and present, right? And so by doing that, we are awakening ourselves to higher conscious states. We are healing, and this goes into the same way we have auric layers, right? Emotional body, your mental body, your spiritual body. What is the chakras are the internal layers that power these layers. So if you're looking to start your journey and begin that healing arc, right? The chakra course is down below for anybody that's looking to dive into that healing lore for sure. All right. But thirdly is crystals, okay? Crystals. Why crystals? Because despite what many may say, crystals is mumbo jumbo and things like that, we have to understand that our ancestors use crystals. Our ancestors use crystals for healing, for protection, for power-ups, for all these things. Why? Because these crystals, and like I stated in last week's live, Earth is a conscious being. The same way humans as conscious beings can birth other conscious beings, Earth can birth conscious beings. And so you have your rocks, your trees, your mycelium network, all these things. And so crystals, when they're birthed, they carry a certain crystalline structure. And that frequency, depending on the crystal, can be used to help protect, can be used to help boost your energy, can be used to help you cleanse, can be used to help you have more vivid dreams. There's a variety of crystals that can be used to help you during these times. Now, for protection, I can tell you right now, crystals that I know of are, you have your amethyst, your clear quartz, your lapis lazuli, your tiger's eye, and then those are just the ones off the top of my head. But like I said, there's many of crystals, and you can use them in your meditation. You can, put them in your pockets. You can wear them as a bracelet, as a ring. There's so many different ways that you can utilize crystals, but it's very important right now because, like I said, there's a lot of, there's agents, there's beings with, malicious intent and things like that out there. And so it's important. And your discernment comes through your healing, your connection with your ancestors, and, using your crystals. Why? Because when you heal, you create a clear mind. And then when you connect with your ancestors, you're connecting with the higher realms. And then when you use the crystals, what's happening is no longer can external noise really penetrate your aura field. So that way you have a clear mind and a clear connection with the higher realms, which allows you to see clearly, which allows you to feel and really discern what is your own energy, really discern what your energy is trying to tell you, which, like I said, right now is very, 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 very important. I stated this in my last live. We're going through one of the most beautiful times right now. And it may be fearful and dangerous for the ones who haven't prepared, but beautiful for the ones who have. So, and when I say that, don't feel like you're late. Don't feel like you're missing anything. Just double up on your healing. Double, like, hanker down. If you feel called to isolation, go into some isolation. We came down here to remember self. We came down here with a mission to know thyself. And so that is the number one priority right now, is to know yourself right now. Wherever you are in your journey right now, understand its purpose. See its purpose. See the lesson behind it, right? Use that lesson. Like, one thing that has always helped me throughout my journey is taking any dark moment, any struggle, challenge, whatever you want to call it, taking that experience and then using it as a lesson. What did I learn from this? Okay, take that, alchemize it into an affirmation or into a reminder for myself, and then use it to propel me. You can't lose, you can only learn. And that's just the truth. You can't lose. It may feel like a L, and trust me, I done had it, bruh. It feel like a L. She left you. The situation didn't go your way. It went opposite of how you expected it in your mind. But none of those are L's. They're just lessons. So don't let your mind get so attached to that physical perspective, that dualistic perspective, that, oh, I'm taking an L right now. But be willing to ascend to those higher conscious states so that you can see it from a higher perspective. That's all we've been talking about on the channel, for real. That's all we've been talking about on the channel. And then lastly, to protect yourself, I got it here on my notes real quick. Yes. Sealing your chakras, okay? And this goes back to the chakra lore and the understanding of the chakras and what they really are as energetic fields within your body that power up your energetic field. So when it comes to operating in this physical realm, it's like a battlefield. You don't know what you're gonna run into. You don't know who you're gonna meet. And that's the beauty of it, right? And as I say this, I really don't want you to be afraid to interact with anybody or anything like that. Go where you feel called to. And this is the importance of listening to your energy, listening to your intuition, getting that clear mind. because that does straight up tell you who to interact with, who do you feel called to interact with, right? All those things. Like, don't fear has no place right now. Fear has no purpose right now. It never did, right? We've been programmed into fear, and that's what we're eradicating. But it starts with that knowledge of self. And so coupling that knowledge of self by going through the chakras, when you start to step out into this physical realm, you can seal your chakras. How? By simply treating it, bro, just to keep it simple, treat it like a zipper, like you're zipping up a jacket. Go into a meditation, sense your chakras, see your chakras, right? See the auric field, see the electromagnetic field radiating, vibrating, right? And then simply zip them up. It's that simple. Just zip them up. Just I like to end it with a pat on my crown chakra, and then I go about my day, and I keep the protection on me, right? Whatever that is for you, your ancestors, right? But honestly, how I've been thinking about it is like, we are each our own internal universes with our own army, right? That army being our ancestors, our aspects of self, our higher self, and things like that. Like, when we're walking in this physical realm now, walk with that confidence, walk with that knowing. And that's for me too. Like, just embodying that knowing of what's going on, to the point where you're no longer distracted by the micro of what's going on in your life, but also by the macro, because you have a divine knowing of what's going on. You see the chaos as something that needs to happen so that we can begin to embody this new realm. And it's happening. The more and more of us that we ascend to higher conscious states, we have to remember that we're the cells of Earth, right? So the more and more of us that the more and more that we ascend to higher conscious states, we are adding to this ascension to collective Earth. So that's why it's important that we continue to do our healing, go through our chakras, begin to release those karmic cycles, begin to release those karmic attachments and things like that. But to do that, we have to face it. To do that, we have to go through that process, and it's going to feel uncomfortable. The journey is going to manifest into challenges, into uphill battles, but we have to keep that higher knowing. And when we see these technological advancements and these things like that, we have to keep in mind, okay, technology, yes, we're here during a time where technology is the most prevalent, but how do we go about using technology consciously, right? How do we go about using technology to better our collective consciousness and not destroy our collective consciousness? And that's what we have to, that's how I feel we have to move with technology. We have to move with AI, because if we not trying to live in that dystopian reality, we have to be willing. And part of me feels like that 3D consciousness and that 5D consciousness might physically manifest, in the sense that there will be a part of us that will I see you, brother. There will be a part of us that goes off and builds utopias and things like that. And there will be a part of the collective that chooses to stay in 3D consciousness and lives out that dystopian reality. I don't know, parallel universes and shit, different realities. Like, it's possible. But what's important is that you be mindful of how you're choosing to live, how you're choosing to interact with technology, how you're choosing to see things in your life, because that's what's going to create your reality. But to that point also, we have to remember that this old realm that's crumbling right in front of our face has literally been built to keep us in those lower conscious states, attached and dependent on the system that they have built. So if we can collectively come together consciously, putting together practical ways to begin to change these systems, right? To fuck building fast food restaurants. Let's build a community garden. Let's build a restaurant that that shops locally, that is sustainable for, Mother Earth and things like that. If we can start to use technology to build a sustainable future, to build a higher conscious community, that's when real change starts to happen. But it's going to start with us all being willing to, one, do the collective healing, to two, operate on a higher conscious state so that we can see past these illusions, and then three, be willing to come together and actually build. Because right now we may be in the crumbling phase, and so right now we may be able to sit back and observe, right? We may be able to, post a video here, but for the ones who are really about to change, they moving, they're planning, they're getting together with the homies, they're investing, right? The shift in wealth that is happening right now, due to the fact that we are at an even playing field with all the wealthiest billionaires ever, because of the decentralization of crypto, is massive. Is massive. So don't let, and this goes for everything, don't let what anybody else is telling you stop you from going in, full in, all in, 100% in on what you feel called to do. Because as we all know, we came down here with a purpose. But to see that purpose, we have to be willing to clear out the noise of these programmings. We have to be willing to face our karmic cycles. We have to be willing to heal so that we can activate, the divine being with us, connect with our higher selves, so that as we go throughout this shift, there's no fear, there's no doubt, there's just knowing. There's just knowing, and the fact that we came here to shake some shit up, that we came here to literally evolve consciously, collectively. And what that evolution looks like is us blending spirituality, the modernization of our ancestors' ways, with technology. Because our ancestors had technology, but we just been programmed to use technology for consumerism. So that's where it starts. Be mindful of what's going on right now. Tap in with yourself. Tap in with your higher self. Like I said, road to 1 trillion subscribers, bro. We not stopping until we hit 1 trillion subscribers. Share this with your friends. Share this with your homies. Share this with your mom, your dad. Play this at your Christmas event, your Christmas gathering. Let them know that Christmas and Thanksgiving was really built for consumerism. And, I ain't even going to get into the lore of that, but, look it up for yourself. Understand that a lot of these pagan holidays that we have was really built for consumerism. Some man, said, I want to make a lot of money on these days, so let me tell the people that on this day this happened, and so there's this big thing around this, and then I'll give them a whole bunch of deals, have people go in fighting for physical things, right? But like I said, I'll if y'all want that lore, let me know. Also, if y'all want, I'll be willing to do a whole live just breaking down crypto and really the power of crypto. I know I've touched up on it here and not. If y'all want that, show me in the comments, show me in the likes, whatever. I hate to sound like that guy. If this video gets to 100 likes, I will do a whole live on cryptocurrency. But not really. If y'all want it, let me know in the comments, and I'll do a live. I may even bring one of the homies up here. But yeah, just keep tapping in with yourself. Keep healing. There's gonna be a video dropping tomorrow, so stay tuned for that. And yeah, wish y'all nothing but peace, love, and light. Do not be afraid of the darkness during these times. The shadows are here for us. They're here to show us. So yeah, that's the Lord for today. Thank you so much. My name is Mark Anthony. Thank you for tuning in. This is Elevated Talk. Welcome to the Cosmic Show. Peace.